Stop scrolling right now because one of the most dangerous veterans in women's MMA just sent a brutal warning to the undefeated queen of violence. And this time, it wasn't hype. It wasn't media talk. It was personal. The woman making the threat was Liz Carmouche, a pioneer of the sport, a former world champion, a battle-tested finisher, and now the target is Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated knockout machine taking over the PFL. Carmouche didn't hesitate. She made it clear that if Dakota stands across from her, she's in serious trouble. Suddenly, one of the biggest fights in women's MMA might be getting real. Let's understand why this mattered.
Nunes, who is the GOAT, the greatest female fighter of all time in any combat sport, says if this woman ends up winning the title, I will come back to face her. So
Liz Carmouche is not some random contender chasing attention. She was in the first women's UFC title fight ever against Ronda Rousey. She became Bellator champion. She just captured major gold again in the PFL tournament. Her resume is built on pressure, violence, and years of fighting elite competition. She owns 25 professional wins, multiple finishes, and more high-level experience than almost anyone.
Now, she tags her again, over and over. Amanda Nunes. Big combination. That's it. That's it. It's over. What?
Oh, Nunes was.
Huge hat kick for Nunes. Amanda Nunes, queen of the jungle.
Nunes now trying to crush the jaw of McMahon here. Doesn't have it under the chin just yet.
Here's the top.
Oh, there it is.
Amanda Nunes has done it. A huge win for the Brazilian.
This is off to a very fast start. Dropping Julia Budd. Series of hammer fist. And Nunes looks very impressive. 6 TKO in a row. Wow.
Nunes. Nearly out on her feet. Oh! Amanda Nunes! Yes, Chris Cyborg out cold!
In the division. While many fighters talk, Liz has lived through wars. She has fought champions, contenders, legends, and survived every kind of chaos the cage can create. That's why her warning hit differently. She didn't say Dakota is overrated. She didn't pretend Dakota is easy work. She acknowledged the hype, then promised she would be the real challenge Dakota has never faced. According to Carmouche, Dakota has talent, speed, and momentum, but she hasn't yet dealt with someone who can drag her into deep water and keep her there. That's veteran confidence speaking. Liz believes that once the fight gets ugly, experience takes over. Now let's talk about Dakota Ditcheva, because she is no ordinary prospect. She is 15-0 undefeated, one of the most explosive finishers in women's MMA, and arguably the biggest star PFL has built in years. Dakota doesn't just win fights. She destroys people. Body shots, knees, combinations, relentless pressure, cold finishing instinct. Opponents enter the cage with a plan and usually leave broken before the final bell. She's young, fast, technical, and carries the kind of aura that makes divisions nervous. That is exactly why Liz wants her. Beating Dakota wouldn't just be another win. It would shake the entire sport. Dakota represents the future. She represents undefeated hype, rising fame, crossover attention, and the next generation of women's MMA. For a veteran like Carmouche, defeating her would be the ultimate statement that experience still matters and old lions still hunt. Stylistically, this matchup is pure danger. Dakota thrives at range with sharp Muay Thai striking, brutal knees, and precision combinations. She wants space to set traps and punish mistakes. Liz Carmouche is the opposite. She wants contact. She wants pressure. She wants to close distance, clinch, wrestle, grind, and turn technical striking matches into ugly survival tests. She doesn't care if it looks pretty. She cares if she wins. That clash of styles is what makes this fight so explosive. If Dakota keeps it standing, she could light Liz up with speed and damage. If Liz gets inside, pins her to the cage, drags her down, and forces scrambles, everything changes. Suddenly, the undefeated striker is trapped in a veteran dogfight against someone who has spent a career breaking opponents mentally and physically. One clean knee from Dakota could end it. One takedown from Liz could shift the entire fight. And there's another layer to this story. PFL has invested heavily in Dakota Ditcheva as a future superstar. She is marketable, exciting, undefeated, and a guaranteed headline attraction. Putting her against Carmouche is risky business. If Dakota wins, her star becomes even bigger. If she loses, the aura cracks instantly. That means this isn't just a fight between athletes. It's a gamble for the promotion itself. Liz Carmouche understands that. Veterans know timing. They know when a young star is peaking and when to strike. By calling Dakota out now, Liz is sending a message. If you want to be considered elite, prove it against someone who has already lived through greatness. She's challenging Dakota to move from prospect status into legacy territory. But Dakota doesn't seem like someone who backs down. She has repeatedly welcomed big names and tougher competition. That mindset makes her dangerous. She isn't protecting her record. She's chasing dominance. Fighters with that mentality either become legends or learn hard lessons against veterans like Carmouche. So now the real question is simple. Can Liz Carmouche use pressure, wrestling, and experience to finally hand Dakota Ditcheva her first loss? Or is Dakota about to prove that a new era has arrived by destroying one of the toughest veterans in the sport? Because if this fight happens, somebody's reputation gets elevated and somebody's gets shattered. And in women's MMA, that kind of collision changes everything. Stop scrolling right now because a UFC champion just sent a message that wasn't aimed at another fighter. It was aimed at the entire sport. And at the center of that message was Dakota Ditcheva. The woman delivering it, Kayla Harrison. A champion, Olympic gold medalist, and one of the most dominant forces in women's MMA. When Kayla speaks on talent, people listen. And this time, her words sounded less like praise and more like a warning. According to Harrison, Dakota Ditcheva is the real deal, the full package, and the future of MMA. That changes everything. This wasn't trash talk. This wasn't cross-promotion. This was genuine respect from someone who understands greatness. Kayla Harrison has fought elite competition, won titles, and built a reputation through dominance. She doesn't casually hand out compliments. So when she calls someone a killer, young, hungry, disciplined, and so good, it means she sees something dangerous that others can't ignore. And the fighter she was talking about is no ordinary prospect. Dakota Ditcheva has quickly become one of the most feared names outside the UFC. Undefeated, explosive, and ruthless in the cage, Dakota has built her name by finishing opponents in brutal fashion. Her style is violent but technical. Sharp Muay Thai striking, body shots that break opponents down, knees from the clinch, and combinations that come fast and don't stop. She doesn't just win rounds. She creates damage. That's why Kayla's words matter so much. Champions recognize real threats before the public does. They see discipline in training. They see composure under pressure. They see instincts that can't be taught. Kayla didn't just say Dakota is talented. She described someone who is mentally locked in, physically gifted, and surrounded by the right team. In MMA, that combination often creates future champions. But here's where the story gets bigger. Dakota Ditcheva isn't even in the UFC. She has built her rise in another major promotion, yet a UFC champion is publicly calling her the future of the sport. That puts pressure on the biggest organization in MMA. If one of the hottest names in women's fighting is outside your roster, eventually fans start asking questions. How long before she enters the UFC? How long before she fights the best names in the world? Imagine the possibilities. Dakota Ditcheva versus the UFC elite. Dakota versus Valentina Shevchenko. Dakota versus Alexa Grasso. Dakota versus Erin Blanchfield. Or the biggest fantasy matchup of all, Dakota versus Kayla Harrison. Striker versus grappler. Chaos versus control. Speed versus strength. Youth versus championship experience. Those are the kinds of fights that could shift women's MMA overnight. Stylistically, Dakota against Kayla would be pure danger. Dakota needs range, rhythm, and striking space to work. Kayla destroys space. She closes distance, clinches, drags opponents down, and turns fights into survival tests. One clean takedown can erase striking momentum instantly. But if Dakota lands early with her speed and precision, everything changes. That is why fans would be obsessed with it. There's also a symbolic side to this story. For years, the UFC has been viewed as the undisputed center of women's MMA. But when champions inside the UFC start praising stars outside it, the gap feels smaller than ever. Kayla Harrison acknowledging Dakota Ditcheva as the future suggests greatness can come from anywhere, not just one promotion. That's a powerful message. Dakota herself seems ready for that spotlight. She has shown no fear in discussing big names and elite opponents. She doesn't sound like someone hoping for opportunities. She sounds like someone expecting them. Fighters with that mentality become either legends or massive problems for everyone in their division. Now the pressure grows. Every next Dakota fight matters more. Every finish increases the noise. Every dominant performance makes the call for super fights louder. And every compliment from established champions like Kayla Harrison adds fuel to the fire. So now the question is simple. If Dakota prove Kayla Harrison right? Or does someone like Harrison herself remind the world that hype means nothing until you beat champions? Because one thing is clear now. This isn't hype anymore. This is a warning. The future may already be here, and her name is Dakota Ditcheva.